Good morning, traders. What's going on? How we doing out there? Who's ready to start the most epic earnings week of the year? Yes, I'm saying it because it's going to matter, guys. We're leading into, of course, the election week, which will be next week. But we got Halloween, and it's a fun time. Halloween, guys. I hope that you guys are ready. We should have ourselves a little dress up stream, man. I'm gonna have to get a little costume or something going here for Halloween, and we're gonna get ready, guys. Of course, big earnings week. We got to take a look at what's going on in the playbook, and there's one that's moving right now. So we need to get right to the playbook. Let's get it started, guys. Smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, and boy, oh boy, I smell a rally today. Let's talk about it. Playbook one, we take a look into Clean Spark. As we take a look at Clean Spark, of course, this is a name that I've talked about since the beginning of the recent run, right? We were looking for that day, and it never just pulled back. Now it's time to play the pullback, I feel, and we're getting ready for a nice Bitcoin rally. That's what the big thing is to look at here. Can we get into the 70,000? And does 70,000 lead to a quick sweep through 80,000? That's what I'm thinking happens here. And potentially, and I've talked about it, $100,000 for Bitcoin before the end of the year is still in play. And I know that a lot of people would maybe tell me, hey, maybe you're looking a little bit too bright side. No, I can see it. And for something about it here, I feel like, if anything, with the uncertainty that comes into the election, one of the ways to play right now, I think, is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is probably going to be moving up regardless whichever presidential electee gets picked, right? And so at this point, I'm just watching for a nice move in Clean Spark. And this is a good move here already starting up. And look at the daily candle, right? And the daily candle starting to look good, like a little move. I'm looking for a nice bullish engulfing candle working back towards 1275. If you take a look at the hourly, you can see that we've made our nice pullbacks. I'm looking for one more pullback on the hourly, if possible, out the gates, coming into this area towards like 1150, 1140 area. Why? Because that would kind of give us a nice little trend line to work off with, right? So I always look at like kind of a trend line approach. Of course, the trend line is not a trend line until it hits 3 points, but on a pullback into that area, it would look really good. At this point, though, it's already trying to crank through the 12. So we could break through the 12 and then start moving towards the 1250. I think that's going to be the big level that we will look for the continued strength. If it could take 1250, you have that ability to really push through these resistance on the left, and then you're starting to climb. So definitely one to keep an eye out for. We'll look for the next move here. Let's go to the playbook 2 here as we take a look at Google. And it's kind of funny because if you guys hear the intro, and you guys that are real kind of loyal fans right here that hang out with me every single morning on Trade the Pool, hear it every day, right? On the intro, you guys hear me say, Google wants 200, baby. Well, guess what, guys? I think we just might be looking for that move, and it could happen this week. So let's take a look here as we take a look at playbook number 2. Google is going to be looking great here as we take a look at Google starting to move through the 170. And I talked about this space before Friday. On Thursday, we talked about this. And then on Friday morning before the open, we said, is Google getting ready for the trend line? And then after the trend line, going to go for that 170. And that's exactly what we got. We got to move back to 167.40. And already this pre-market already breaking up there now through that 170. And I've talked about how pretty this inverse head and shoulder has been. We've created this line on when? On the 25th. Because we said, let's just look for a move above that, right? Even on the trend line, we were looking for that move. We had been watching this since October 8th. This was the original moment that we started looking at this because it was starting to come back into this space. And we were wondering, is this an inverse head and shoulders developing here on Google when it was just creating the right-hand shoulder? Now we have the clear break to the upside, and this looks good for Alphabet. Let's get to the second one here, or the third one here, as we go to playbook 3. And we get a look at a different outlook here. This one's going to be a little bit more of a bearish outlook. And I think that at some point you always need to have multiple type of plays. I don't like to only have a full bullish approach, right? Sometimes you're going to have to look for a little bit of some decline. So if we do go into the red today and we have that kind of red day, we need to look for a decline on the XLF to reject the 47 here, and then come right back down towards this 46.50. That could be a collapse back towards the 50 EMA, which could just put us back towards 45.50. I could see a takeout of the 46 coming into play even today. Of course, you take a look at Friday's low, that's 46.52. That'd be the real kind of a target approach for like a scalp approach, right? But that's the support. If we can break through there, I think we're looking back further towards a 50 EMA. All right, that's going to do it for me on today's playbook. Like always, guys, if you guys enjoy getting the playbook, check me out. Go to @Trade the Pool, right? Check us out. We put the playbook up all the time. And I need you guys out there that enjoy me doing the playbook to hit the retweet on them, because I know that there's tons of you guys that like at least seeing these plays. It's not about copycat, right? It's about showing you guys the approach of how you guys got to have your own playbook every single day. And I want to see more and more traders @Trade the Pool and talk about their trade playbook and let me know what they're watching at every single day. I'll definitely catch some of those. Let's get over now to, of course, the sunrise report as we kick things over. It's going to be a great week. I'm excited. The question is, are you? Let me know in the chat. What are you excited about this week? Let's get to it. All right, let's kick things off here, and it's going to be a crazy, crazy week, of course. All right, traders, we're looking at the biggest week, the blockbuster week, right? With some of the biggest names in tech set to report the earnings. 5 of the Magnificent 7, right? We got Alphabet, Google, of course. We got Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Apple, which will be unveiling their Q3 performances. Of course, these are the powerhouse reporting the tech landscape, and we could see some big major shifts this week, and we got to be looking for the stocks to be moving. And I saw already that the estimated move, the biggest move, is Meta. So that's one name that I'd put on the watch, right? What is that? That's the implied move off of the earnings, right? So that's the one that could be, I think, having a big shakeout, right? But we'll be looking. Alphabet and Microsoft, definitely big ones to watch. Now, beyond the earnings, let's not forget that there's some big, crucial economic data. The September jobs report drops Friday, and PCE price index on Thursday, and Q3 GDP preview coming our way on Wednesday. This week, the stakes couldn't be higher, as of course, everyone's going to be watching to see what happens with this economic data and what happens with those major earnings. Let's get into the second one, really kicking things off on the Sunrise Report as we kick things over now to Robinhood entering the election prediction markets, guys. Here's a twist. Robinhood is diving into the election prediction space and just announced users can now trade contracts of presidential candidates like Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. This isn't just any trading. It's powered by Robinhood's derivatives and Forecast EX. While Robinhood might be fresh face here, it's not alone. And competitors are really kind of getting a little bit upset about this, right? Like Interactive Brokers and Kashi are also elbowing in this market after a legal ruling favored here. It's raising some eyebrows, though, of course. Just last week, Polymarket flagged a single user in France who spent millions, guys, on Trump contracts. And Robinhood says that it's about giving people real access to real-time event trading. But will this new asset class thrive amid concerns over market manipulation? Stay tuned, guys. This is going to be interesting. Just how it could affect the stock itself. I think that's one thing to look at to see if now they get a bunch of people actually going even further into Robinhood. Now they could get some customers that didn't even want to go on Robinhood just because they want to bet on the election. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm looking for the stock to maybe have a potential rip even today. So keep watch. I'll be keeping an eye on it. Let's go to the third one here as we kick things over now. Let's get to the third one as we talk about TMC here. And this is, I think, something bigger than most of the media is focusing in here. So TSE shipments suspended on U.S. national security concerns. Let's talk about TMC and a brewing tech controversy here. Of course, Taiwan Semiconductor shipments could be suspended here. And they actually suspended shipment to a China-based Sofogo after a TMC chip linked with Huawei's AI processors, right? And so what's going on here is essentially one chip that they don't know how it happened, but it showed up in an area that it shouldn't be. And this is, of course, going to spark alarms. They were already being reviewed on to see what happened in this situation if TSMC is giving chips over to certain China companies. Well, I'll tell you one thing, that's going to spark big controversy here, and TSMC could be getting hit on this. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's nothing that's hitting them right now, but it's something that I would put a concern on trading TSM just for investors out there. Let's get to the next one here as we kick things over. Let's go to CrowdStrike and what's going on with Delta. And this is not good here at all, guys. So Delta is actually suing here CrowdStrike over a July system outage. Next up, Delta Airlines is taking CrowdStrike to court over July's software update mishap after they grounded flights and cost Delta millions. Of course, this is more focused on seeking for the Georgia area, but they're seeking compensation for about $380 million in lost revenue and about $170 million in additional costs. Delta claims that the CrowdStrike software update was rushed and untested. If this is true, of course, CrowdStrike could be facing the penalty here. And I think that they might actually face it because if they can't prove that their update was tested, I mean, that's going to be a major sign of concern. All right, let's get out of CrowdStrike and Delta situation here. Let's move over to the next one. We can talk a little bit more about this, but what will happen there, I think we're going to have to wait to see what happens in the lawsuit. But just something to think about. I think this one's really interesting, though, as we kick things over now. We'll talk a little bit about Volkswagen. And this one's going to be an interesting one because, of course, I think it also is going to affect major vehicles overall. And it's just showing you more and more the situation that's going on in the automakers. I know that we're seeing Tesla make a major run like that here, but Tesla's not really the concern here. Take a look at Volkswagen. Volkswagen, tough road ahead as they pay cuts and layoffs in Germany. Over in Europe, Volkswagen is considering sweeping cuts to, of course, to get costs under control. They're talking about pay cuts up to 18% layoffs and even closing or downsizing multiple plants in Germany. Workers are looking at a tough period with wage freezes proposed through 2026. Head of the Works Council, Diana Cavallo, said that its drastic plan for Volkswagen's management situation here with a huge implication for German labor. Can Volkswagen bounce back, or will these cuts come at a long-term cost? So this just shows you here and more how the situation for automakers is not a positive one. I know that GM is doing pretty decent right now, but overall, I think that this has just become a battle of margins in an area that's seeing a lot of inflation. So the cost here is that the negatives are on both sides, right? So the cost of the vehicles are going up. One thing just from the software and the tech being involved, right? Now we're looking at autonomous in the future. That's going to be another cost to the vehicles, right? And so I think that you got to continue watching here how the situation in vehicle is for prices to continue going and for the cost of the goods to also continue going. So they don't even win here. Even though they're making more money on the overall vehicle, they don't win because now the margins for these cars cost more, right? And the situation that Tesla struggled with a long time, right? They've gotten better, and Tesla's talking about a cheaper car coming soon. But the biggest thing that Tesla faced in the first, wave of their kind of leap up was what? It was battling against the cost of goods. Well, keep an eye on this in the auto manufacturing space. Let's go to the next one. Let's kick it off. Let's go towards now as we kick things over. Let's get to Hawaiian Electric, as Hawaiian Electric shares surge on a Citadel stake. And this one's interesting, guys. I didn't expect to hear about this, but lastly, on to end on a high note, Hawaiian Electric Industries are soaring after news broke that, of course, Ken Griffin Citadel took a 5.4% stake, and investors are buzzing over Citadel's move, which means that Hawaiian's electric future could mean a big play for a big name. Of course, you guys know that this means that, hey, this has the money behind it, and if Ken Griffin is willing to put his money behind it, I think in the long term, this will probably get the move back higher. I mean, you got to continue to watch. There's no guarantee here, but it's something that I'd be watching for, because if that's big money, right? Citadel, right? There's no reason why they're looking at this. I think what they see is that regardless of what plays out, Hawaii Electric will probably survive the situation that happened there. And with that being said, they'll be able to go back towards more of a profitability and start to push back towards the upside. We'll see what happens there in HE, Hawaiian Electric. That's going to do it for us today on the playbook. Of course, like always, you guys can catch me right here on Trade the Pools. Time to kick things off and get things started where they really matter. And I'll tell you one thing, guys. I already nailed a nice trade in the limited account to bounce me back from Friday's hit on the penny stocks. Hey, today we captured a good one. Let's talk all about it on the show.
Wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What up, fam? How we doing out there? Good morning to you guys. And you guys ready to get after it? Ready to get that money? Yeah, Jimmy Butler jersey on, and if you're a big Jimmy Butler fan, you know how he is. He's just all to the wall kind of guy, and I feel like today and this week we got to be to the wall. We got to get after it. Ain't no shying away today, guys. We're gonna get after it, and let's talk about the first trade already made on the limited account. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, we're gonna get started early today, and we're doing it right. It's Trade the Pool, and guess what? Today, it's already raining money out here, team. Let's take a look at the action as we take a look, of course, here. Money, Mitch, getting it started here the right way. Good morning to you guys. Vic, how we doing out there? FJF, Jane, it's good to see you guys out there. Diaz, ¿cómo estamos? How's everyone doing out there? We're all over the world, Trade the Pool. So, hey, guys, but look at that, guys, right here. Only one trade on, and we did it right. Bought some at 625, and let's actually bring up the chart here right on Trade the Pool so you guys can see the sells or the buys and the sells there. And this was really early on, guys. This is why the early bird gets the worm here. And take a look at my trade here on Glue. It was a pretty one here. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but here it is, guys. This is what I saw when I got in the morning. I had seen this stock had ripped through the roof at 7 a.m. I got here really early, 7:05. I was like, you know what? This looks pretty decent here. Let's take a little shot on this one. All right, so I said, you know what? Let's go for it. So, hey, got in there. First buy, 625, right here on the pullback. Then I said, you know what? All right, we got that 625. It starts going back through the 650s. That's where we got to add, baby. Let's go for a little bit of a pullback below that 650 spot. Went for that pullback, got in there at the 645. Nice little push higher. Sold it right into the push into the 680s. Didn't get pretty with it. Could have gone towards the 7. Yes, and maybe sold towards a little bit higher, towards even like 720s. Really, the max I can make on this account with one trade is 600. So 475 with the limited account. And you guys know this is that brand new account that we brought out for you guys. It's 1,300 plus on the profits. This is more than 30%, guys. This is close to like 40% of the account in one trade. Not looking too bad. Let's keep battling. Let's keep trying to take those trades. Something's got to happen. And I'll tell you one thing. I think I'm on the limited account. I got about 2 weeks left. I think a little bit over 2 weeks. Yeah, just a little bit over 2 weeks. I think it's, it's actually right on the dot. 2 weeks here left on the limited account. So, hey, I'm just break even, 92. I'll say a break even. I'm at 92 on this. I've been battling back and forth, but I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'm going to keep battling. Let's see what we can come up with today. Is glue going to be the name? Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that trade, or maybe taking another one today. Not a bad little one there. Good money in the green. Let's go ahead. Let's find some more money. What are you guys looking at this morning? Keep throwing them up. Had a nice weekend. Hope you did too. Hey, definitely had a nice weekend. Great weekend indeed. Okay, can't be mad at all. Things are great. The boys are doing great. Almost crawling, guys. Well, at least I'll give my man Antonio, my little man Antonio, a little shot. He's already getting a couple steps in. And just like you guys, are you just getting into that point where you're hitting that profitability stage and you're crawling into the green? Well, I'll tell you one thing. The most important thing is just to stick to what got you here, the processed approach, right? Well, I know that this P stands for, of course, trade the pool, right? For the pool, right? But think about it like process. That's what I want you guys to think about when you guys see this P. P for process, guys. Let's get after it. Let's get that money. They're crawling. They're crawling. You should see it. It's so cute, man. Let's go, hotspot. Let's get after it. All right, what do you got out there? Bottom feeding right now, TWG. There's a lot out there. Let's take a look at that one, TWG. All right, and then we'll go into some of the major names, and we'll talk a little bit about that, guys. Let me know what you guys like out there, and did you guys enjoy last week? Of course, had my man Steve on. Steve, I'm looking forward to maybe having him this week. What do you guys think? You guys, should I bring Steve back? Uber running. Let's go take a look at Uber. TWG, that's a bottom feed right there. That's a fish right there. Oh, man, 70 cents. This thing's gone down, 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 down she goes. It could get back through $1, though, today. I do see in a play like this right here. So, like, this is your first bounce, right? So I always look for that first bounce to create, like, kind of a resistance. The question is, was this the first bounce or was this the first bounce? I'm going to give it through the $1 one because a lot of times when you break $1, you go right back above $1, and right here, you have that, right? And so that's like your first up one. Then you're going to start coming down and you're going to start reversal right around here. So that's like the first time that you really started to get the plus action, right? When this stopped here, it stopped leaking. Now you're starting to get that reversal back. So now you're starting to approach more of this approach back. And you did do a nice little breakout above that. Now you're trying to hold it on a pullback. But be careful for quick washes towards 70. But if as long as the 70 spot, I feel like can hold, and you keep holding a higher low than this 69 cents that you just went back to, doesn't look too bad. We'll see if it takes out the 88 cents here and then gets to about $1. That's where I can see it getting to. Maybe it goes towards like 110, right? But I'd be targeting that $1, which is that first little bounce back. After that point, you go to 130. That's your kind of resistance. That's where you're going to battle. Right? That's when you can run really into a little bit of a wall, that 130. So, hey, you have your approach. We'll see what happens there on TWG. The fun part about these is that they're so cheap. You can really get in and out of them with heavy liquidity. The only thing also, though, is that you need a quick move, and you need to make 10 cents on these. Don't forget it for a lot of the accounts. We'll see what happens there. I'm seeing Boyle in the down gap. Oh, no, the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker, of course, you know, Boyle, guys, is natural gas. And oil taking a big hit today after it looked like at least, I mean, we saw some battling in the Middle East, but nothing that was being a danger towards the oil or supply there. So oil taking a major hit down today, and oil's on the downside, guys. XOM is going to be getting hit hard today, as this was actually starting to look bullish, and now the bulls are caught here. This is when you mean like by a bulls are caught. And we'll talk a lot about swing trading today, right? The basics of swing trading, right? So in swing traders, right? If I was watching this and I did not know today's candle and I was just looking at it like this looked good. This looked good for a swing trade, especially even towards the close. The closing on Friday's action was where? It was 120.40s. So it was right here, right at the top. Didn't look bad. Looked like it was going to come back up through back towards like 122s and 124s. And today they're getting swept. So it's a little bit of a different thing. What are you going to see? You're probably going to see long traders get rid of their positions either before the open or at the open. So I'd be looking for washouts. And right now you're getting it here. We'll see what happens out the gates there for XOM on the downside. All right, let's keep going. Everything is moving. Nuclear stocks are also moving. Yes, LTBR. I don't know that one, but I like it. LTBR, let's take a look here. I like any nuclear stock, and you guys know I've been trading some of these. This isn't one that I've known, actually, so I appreciate you bringing this one up. Hey, it's always good to learn a new one, right? So here you guys have it. Nice little breakdown right here. 822 is really going to be a big spot to watch today. $8 recovery. You can already see it. You're starting to come back for it. I'd be looking for quick sweeps back towards 7, right? Or the resistance here from Friday's action, which could be 750s. So below 750s is a nice little area for quick sweepbacks. We'll see what happens there in LTBR. Another one, SMR, right? We'll keep a watch on all these. I've talked about how the pullback was already done, and it started to look better there towards the end of the week as I looked at NNE, right? And I talked about how this one could pull back towards like 17, 18. I had that area drawn out. It's now holding in here. So at this point, I think we're looking good for a little bit of a quick pullback and a nice push on NNE. Going to keep this one on the radar today. Definitely don't want to miss this one. I'd love for it to get back down towards that 18 and then make the next move. So I'm going to actually set an alert there, and we'll keep a really close eye to see what happens on NNE today. I'm going to set 2 alerts here. And sometimes you got to do this. And so instead of setting just one alert, right? Set an up alert. Up alert for me would be an up through the resistance move. That's 2050, right? So I can go ahead and set alert there at 2049. And then I'll look at downside break, 1817. So that's ways away there, but still going to go ahead and put down there. I'm going to go and put 1860, which would get me at least alerted before that downside comes bottoming, and we can look for a little bit of a turnaround there in NNE. Nano nuclear energy, SMR, already showing some upside. This is what also points to me. This one's already on like kind of the gap. So if you like ones that are more like the leader, I think SMR is leading the action on the upside right now. You could see quick sweeps back here below the 1883s, but looks good right now. We'll see if it gets that nice push there towards 20 today in SMR. Let's go to the main overall market, the SPY, right? You guys seeing the strength that's in the SPY right now. I think we got to just delete everything and take a look at it again here as it just keeps recovering and now starting to hold the 9 EMA. So we could make a little bit of an upside approach. We were talking about on Friday how things did a little bit of a melt up. So can we continue that melt up? Can it be 2-3 days? This is one of the seasonal strongest days of the year. And I think that we got to continue to watch to see what happens. Quick sweeps on the downside could be all the way back down towards this 577.93. So we're going to put that towards 578, right? There's no need to you could just round it there to the 578 level. That's support. And that's where we're seeing a big support. But hey, don't forget, we could go all the way back down there. And I think that we need to take a look also here to see how the expansion is happening in the ATR. Because if the ATR starts to take an uptick, that's where we got to be concerned on the downside. We are getting an expansion of range, but it's not really making that big of an uptick. A lot of times when we get an uptick, we get a pullback. Like similar, I'll point to it here. So you can see it here. very often when we start to really get that spike in the ATR, it's when we're starting to go into that downturn. So on up moves, a lot of times we can still get an upswing, but we don't want to see the ATR just take off, right? So a nice little pattern is looking for a move. Let's see an expansion, start going to 550s. That can show us this move has legs, and we're going to approach the high 586 and maybe make a run to the 590s here. We'll see what happens. Will we run into the elections, or will we run into some more chop? What are you guys looking at out there? Keep it moving. I see another one mentioned here, IMIX. Let's take a look at this one. Another runner here, guys. A lot of runners lately. So let's keep watching this one. I saw another one, EMOX, this morning. We'll keep working through these penny small cap runners. This is another runner right now, getting the move already. Take a look at the 15-minute. Nice little pattern on the pullback here. Held that pullback. I'd be looking for pullbacks now to hold 1377s. Let's go to a little bit of a smaller time frame. I always work from a bigger and then start to work back. Take a look at the action and then look for the pattern, the smaller pattern. What's going on in the 1 minute here? We can see how we had a rounding cup pattern, right? So you guys see the rounding cup, right? I'll draw it in a circle here just so you can see it. This is the cup pattern. So you see that cup pattern right here. You're seeing this big kind of handle kind of look on it, right? So now we're starting to approach the high. We're looking for the break above this. Now it can hold the 1550s. You just hit that 1550s. I'd like small micro pullbacks to that 1550s on the short outlook. And then looks like it wants to really start to rip here. Let's see how much it has the legs here. It did have a nice little flagging pattern about 390. So 390 from 14. Maybe we get to 1790 here. We're getting a nice little breakout here. 1680s now. 1750s there. Do we get to 1790s? That was a good little break right there. That was like a nice little dollar move there. Dollar wide move there. AMIX. Good breakout here, guys. In the morning, we're seeing a lot of these take big moves here, guys. So keep your eyes out there. I'm seeing the action move all around. There's also this EVOK that I saw make a huge move earlier. This one went, and I saw it around like 10 or 11. I went to go just walk around the house for a second, go check on the boys, came back, and this thing was up $7 from that level. It's starting to pull back now, and it did have a nice little breakout to 1350s, but crazy day out there, guys. Crazy one. What are you watching for earnings? So earnings is a hard one, man, because things move back and forth on earnings. I think we got to continue to watch to see what happens. We can talk a little bit more about earnings during the show. What I'm going to do is at like 10:30 or something like that, if I have an opportunity there, I will pull up an earnings calendar. We're going to break it down a little bit. We'll go a little bit further. We also got a lot to talk about on the swing trading side of things, so let's talk a little bit more about that. And I think that a lot of times when swing trading, traders just don't understand what swing trading is all about. So to me, swing trading is all about understanding that you can use a small share size and look for a bigger move, right? A daily move, right? And so a lot of times swing traders are more focused on the daily chart than even the intraday chart. What I say is, keep your eyes on the intraday chart to get the best entry. So if you're a swing trader, it's actually good to have day trading skills that you can use to try to perfect your entry on that day, right? If you see a nice daily chart and you're saying, hey, this chart looks great today. It looks great for the upside. I'm going to wait till I get a nice green action, a nice breakout, a pullback to the VWAP, and I'm going to go long there. So on there, I'm using a day trading strategy, a VWAP long strategy on the day trading side, but also taking a look at it more in a swing trading mentality. This is a lot we'll talk about today. And if you guys got questions on swing trading, today's the day. Just keep throwing those questions up and I will answer. Hey, you guys have it. I'm an open book today. Keep bringing it out there. All right, guys, big shooting star on the 1 minute on AMIX. There it is, guys. Right. AMIX. Let's go take a look at that one. There it is. That's a nice little break to the upside. Nice shooting star. Yeah, could be coming right back down, right? And a lot of times you get this, which is the approach of the 9 EMA, right? So now could be coming back for that 1550 approach that I talked about a little bit earlier. You went to 1554 just recently. Let's see if it hits the 9 EMA now. The 9 EMA is at 1540s. So a lot of times I start looking to see if these stocks are holding 9 EMAs. And that's that light blue line that you guys see on the tape there. So let me go ahead and get some of my indicators down so you guys can see the chart a little cleaner there. And you can see how it approaches that 9 EMA. We'll look to see if it comes right back into that 1540s and then tries to take another move higher here. Once it goes back through this trend line, which could be a nice little 1540s, then comes back towards like 16. That'd be the look here. And that's why it's trying to trap through 16 right now on a couple of looks. It's already trapped there a couple of times here. I'd look for that quick sweep to 1540s and then a recovery of 16 here. We'll see what happens there. AMIX. You guys call your own shots there, but it looks interesting. RVNC now going to 6. So there's a couple of them out there that are making a little bit of some up breaks, right? I saw this one earlier on around 560s. Did not see this run as I was starting the show. It's starting to get there to 6. Could go right back to the 625. What's it holding? The 9 EMA. And it just did this third attempt and undercut it and rallied off of it. So I would look now to see if like kind of this support can hold here, which is the 595s. As long as it can hold 595s right now, it looks pretty interesting for me. We'll see what happens there in RVNC. And if you look on the 15-minute, that's going to put the support around 590s, holding that, and now needs to take the 606. That's a good level to look for, upside break. And you can see the body closes there, nothing above on the 15-minute on the 605. So that's a good level to look for. Let's see if it goes and makes a break for the move, RVNC. And today I already got a good cash, right? Good cash to work with, a nice little cushion, 470. Let's work with that cash here, guys. I'm going to go back to the charts here. Sorry about that. I was breaking it down here. So you can see here, RVNC starting to get that nice little recovery through 6. Looks good. Had a couple of attempts down. Now has recovered the 9 EMA. Needed to hold on pullbacks. But if you look on the 15-minute, you can see the resistance right there. Now 605, good looking levels. Could go right back to green here on the 15-minute and make a break to the upside. This is a smaller one with volume, but definitely there's a lot of these on the play. These are just the top 4. Blue, AMIX, EVOX, RVNC. Fun is in play. DJT. So a lot of small names definitely in play. AMD, of course, we talked about how on Friday, this one could have a breakout, and it had a hell of a day. It pulled back at the end, but it's already back up there towards yesterday's high, Friday's high, 158.91. Could be taking the 159 and continue going. AMD's on the motor right now. Watch out there, guys. Stocks are moving. All right, let's keep taking a look. Let's see what else is out there. So for earnings, a lot of times I'm not really focused on also like what they're going to do on their earnings. I'm more focused on how the reaction is prior to earnings. So that's what you need to be looking for. Stocks like to run into earnings and then sometimes pull back or maybe make a giant leap on the earnings. Microsoft is one that we've been watching for a long time on this trend line, and it finally really got the motor going. And it broke above this trend line or this resistance, this 431. I'm looking for pullbacks into that spot today, but you can see today we already approached that on this pullback and recovered. So that 431, definitely a good area to watch for some continued upside in Microsoft. Google, 170, 170, 170. Pullbacks below that, I'll be watching for it. Definitely got to keep an eye out on Google today. And I'm already seeing NNE starting to approach 20. This is going to be an interesting day, but definitely Google, one to watch, guys. So I'm already setting an alert there at 170. If it comes back to it, I want it. Microsoft, I'm going to set an alert at 431. We got to have these alerts set. I think this is very important for traders to do, especially even on the swing trading game, guys. When you have swing trading alerts on, you can go ahead and be alerted to a daily level that you've been looking for a while, and you don't expect it to hit. Next thing you know, you're taking a shot. I'll tell you one name that's coming back to my entry, guys, and this one was deep red but almost into the green now, guys. And it's going to be a hard hold, but I'm taking a big shot in BABA. I've talked about it. Would it go to the 51 or the 61.8 retracement? It held 61.8 to the key. And so that tells me look for a gap up move. I'm watching for a gap up move back towards 104 and 105, which will put me deep into the green. We'll see what happens to BABA if this can start to climb back and get towards the top. So BABA is one that I'm watching on the swing trade. We'll see how the swing trade works this week. That's one that I'm watching. I have a lot of money into that one. So this is just my bet on a China name, right? And it's one of the most destroyed ones, but I like the way it looks on the weekly. Could pull back to 98, but other than that, it still looks really great for an attempt back rally. We'll see what happens there in China. All right, getting ready, guys. And of course, we got the main account. We had a nice bounce back day. Killer trade on Friday. It was a monster move. I even forget the ticker all the time because it was UPXI. UPXI. Can this one make another move, guys? I think it can. The only thing, though, you guys remember, this thing was a halt fest and then a move back down. So be careful out there, guys. If you guys do play this one, I will warn, it was a crazy ride. Let's just say that. But it could make a little spike here out the gates. I might look to maybe play this one, but it would be more in the limited account. Take a small amount and see what happens. I mean, hey, you never know with this one. But there's going to be a lot of names, right? And I don't think you got to go for this one if you don't want to. AMIX turned around there, pulled back there off the 9 EMA there, went back towards 1575, didn't hit, just pulled back right to the 9 EMA off of the 1540s attempt. It held for a second. The 9 EMA came back hurling. It hit the 9 EMA, and what happened? Boom, upside, now to 1864. So this one's had 1, 2, 3 rallies, and now starting to slow down a little bit here. Out the gates, I could expect a little bit of a pullback on this one, but be careful, guys. You're trying to short a day one runner. That's going to always be difficult. Right now, though, 1880s is going to be a tough spot to get through. You've had 1, 2, 3 attempts. I would look for a 4th attempt fail, and that's going to be a pretty interesting area. And that's right there, a 4th attempt fail of 1868. Where'd he go to? 1864. Went above the trend line and failed. Now could be coming back towards that 9 EMA. If it breaks 9 EMA, that's really when you start to get a little bit more of that bearish approach. That 9 EMA could be pulling back here now towards like 15, which is the VWAP. So could short off of that 1825, 1875 here. Let's get the limited account here. I'm feeling the juices here in the morning. But hey, this is a tough one. If I would take it, I would take it with very small size. We're talking 50, 100 shares, because if you do get the right action's down, $2-3, right? And so it's hard to do here, but let's see what happens here. AMIX coming up for that breakout attempt here. Let's see if it breaks out or not here. If it fails, it could be a nice little attempted short here. So let's see what happens. If I do go after this one, I'd go after it with like 50 shares just to make sure if you do get squeezed, you don't pay the price. Fake out to the 1925s here. And so the big thing is waiting for it to go red right now, right? A lot of traders shorted already. I think you're shorting into strength on this bad boy. It's a little bit tough. I want to see the candle go red. So this opened up at 1791. That's 18, right? So it opened up at the bottom here. You want to see it start to turn back around, coming back towards that bottom. Here's a breakout attempt here. That's why I didn't go short really quickly. I was waiting for it. So now I'd be looking for like a takedown back below this 1879. But you can see that was an attempt there. Now 1, 2, 3, and a nice break attempt out towards the 20s. 20s could happen here, though. Still chomping around out there. This thing is a bad boy, and it's strong. AMIX almost approaching 20, and this thing started this morning at 10 or 11. It's up now 83% in the pre-market. Before the open, guys, what a move. Money Mitch, what's going on? How we doing, Kevin? Good morning. What are your low levels to buy in the long-term account for Tesla? Tesla. So the problem with Tesla now is that, you have to think about it in a long-term sense, right? I think that you got to be watching to see what happens with their cheaper vehicles. At this point, the stock has rocketed, but how can you grab it at this point, right? That's going to be the hard thing. At this point, you got to look at the weekly chart. I think the weekly chart can give you ideas for long term now, and that's what's going to make me delete a lot of these middle lines. So let's actually clean up my Tesla chart here and see what we're really looking at in Tesla. So what we're really looking at in Tesla is a nice recovery of this 200. So we held the 200 and are now approaching a longer term kind of a line that we start to come back through the monthly. And so the monthly approach and held, right? Monthly approach pullback, held that pullback. Now you're getting that breakout above that level. So at this point, as long as Tesla can hold 200, you're going to be fine. At least I think long term. That's what I'll be looking at. If below 200, it's a real short. But right now, that 200 looks like it's going to hold and start to approach the upside month breakout, which is a push above this 271. So right now, you're on breakout city. So you have to chase it if you're looking long term. Back towards like 319, could make a move there. And then for pullbacks, I'm looking into pullbacks into this area. So 232. 232 is an area where I could look for pullback. If it ever comes back into this gap space, not this one. So it needs to fill some of that gap back for me to even look at it. And let's see, if I take a look at the retracement just from where the recent run has been, that's going to be closer towards your 61.8, a little bit further down actually. You're looking at closer more, I would say towards 232, 235 area is a nice area for me on pullbacks for long term. We'll see if it gets to 271 today. Big resistance. And you can see it right now fighting that resistance. We'll see if Tesla can have a strong day. All right, not a bad one there in Tesla. Good mentions. And AMIX, crazy stock there. All right, guys, it's 9:23. I'm going to go get some water right quick. I'll be right back. I already feel it in my voice. I'm talking a lot. We'll see what we got today, guys. Smash the like. Let's keep it going. I'm going to keep some stocks up here. Let's put an AMIX. Let's take a look at that stock. Did it get through 20? Ooh, it's up there. It got to 20 and it failed a little bit there. It's continuing the strength, though. What a crazy stock there. AMIX now towards $20. Continuing the strength there in that bad boy. What a move. All right, starting to slow down a little bit there, but man, it continues. It's a strong stock here. Could break the 9 EMA now on a quick move to the downside. We'll see what happens here. A little part of me wants to short this bad boy, but I'll wait for the open, guys. I'm going to go get some water right quick. You guys stick around right here. Don't go anywhere. Smash the like. We got a lot more for you guys. What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Who's ready to start the day? Let me know in the chat. Let's go. Let's get it going. Money Mitch here, ready to get after it. Let's go. Set it up and knock them down. We're in the green here in the limited account, up 470, ready to go for it, guys. Look at AMIX recovering immediately that 19 here. What a strong day we're getting already, guys. Got to keep an eye out to see if some of this leaks into another one. So we'll watch what happens here. Let's go. Let's go. It's 9:28, 9:29. 1 minute for the bell, guys. All right, so we're going to get ready here, guys. Like always, guys, you know what time it is. Get ready. I need to be ready for the bell here. I have a feeling I want to trade right out the gate. So let's go. Let's get ready here. All right, so what to watch in the big boys? Let's go really quickly to that. So in the big boys, I'll be watching AMD as one of the strong ones. Of course, Google, we've talked about that. Tesla, we've talked about that. NVIDIA, we've talked about that. And so one thing that I'm seeing right now that's giving me a good sign that we could see some quick downside. Tesla on the downside. Of course, we had a nice melt up, so it would make sense for us to get a quick little pullback, scare us a little bit. And you're seeing StockS already take a nice little lift here. So watch out for quick pullbacks to eventually get bought. So a lot of times hourly long pullbacks are interesting to look at here. So VXX could be taking a quick little spike to the upside and then come right back down. So I'm going to be actually watching to see if we could get that quick little spike right here out the gates. VXX already getting a nice little lift there. VXX, quick little spike here. I'm going to be trying to get this a little bit, see if I can get this even 500 shares, something like that would be interesting here. So there's a quick little spike there. Let's see if we can get this back down towards 53.05 here. I'm just looking for a quick little pullback here, fill, and then hold off of 53s here. Microsoft pulling back, Q's pulling back really quickly. I'm throwing out the order there. We'll see if we can get it. Orders out there on the VXX. Let's see if we can get it there. No pullback just yet. Now starting to take off into the 20s, into the 30s. So would need to step up here if I want to get it. I'm looking for a little pullback fill. VWAP's at the 53.17s. It's already going in the 53.30s here. Now starting to go towards the 53.30s. Could leap into the 40s here, now towards 32s. I'm still waiting on the pullbacks. I pulled up to the 53.14s, now towards 53.40s. I'm canceling on the pullback here. Going to watch to see where this comes back to. Q's, though, did take a quick dip there. And Apple, though, leading the upside, though. That's one name that we got to keep a watch. Of course, I've talked about how that could be right back to the trend line and making an upside approach. It was on the playbook, looking great. Google with the alert on the pullback. That gave me a chance there on that pullback. So now I'm getting that pullback below 160. Might go to 169 here on the pullback. I'm looking for a little bit further pullback there. Google on the quick pullback to the 170 is a play, but I'm going to maybe look for the 169 here. Going to pull back a little bit further and then gave me the shot. But Google already getting a quick buy signal right back. You can see the 15-minute chart, how the wicks there are getting bought through the 170. I'm going to keep a close eye on it, though. VXX now coming back here towards the pullback, and Q's still going lower, though, so going to give me a chance there to go ahead and get it here. Let's see if I can get it here and maybe ride a little bit of a move on the VXX here. I'm going to take a shot on the small limited account here. Quick pullback to the 53s here. We'll see what happens. Apple's pulling back. SPY's pulling back a little bit here, but could just bounce here, and we could get some quick up action coming right back into the market here. Let's see what happens here. Quick sweep on the VXX there. No buy for me. Now back towards 52.80s. So quick sweep right back tells me the Qs are bouncing fast there. And the Qs are bouncing fast right back. So let's see what happens in this little chop area here towards 945. It seems like we're running into a little bit of a chop here. So hey, I'm gonna take it a little bit easy here. That was already a fake out there in the VXX. Could have got faked out there. Didn't take any buy or sell there. Looking at Cleveland Cliff, Clean Spark, of course, just as one that's on the playbook. Just got to push through 12, so it's having the up move action here. Holding the 12 pullback, already getting the lift towards 1205. This one could get going here, rocking and rolling. 1206 now could be pushing here. Clean spark now towards 1207. So looks good there. First spike there towards 1208 there. Can it really get the motor going here? Held the pullback to 12. SPY starting to come back here. Just got back above the moving average of the 9. Now making an up approach. That's going to help the Qs recover. Apple still holding in strong. Looking at the VXX there, also starting to head to the downside, 5260s. Clean spark still looking great here, 1211s. I'd still look for a little bit more pullback, but it got a little pullback. It went to the 85s, now holding the 1211s into the push there towards 1214s here. So clean spark starting it off there with a nice move to the upside. So that looks good there. I'm still looking for a quick pullback after this first attempt to the upside, running into the resistance now in a second here towards 1230s. That's going to be the spike that I could see happening. We'll see what happens on that clean spark. That's a nice little move to start it off. Pakar holding on there. Let's go to the smaller names. I'm trying to keep it moving. You guys out there, smash the like. Let's see what we got. Let's go. LTBR popping. Okay, so and what about NNE? NNE, quick pullback to that 1930s here. Give me 1 second, guys. You guys hear me? I need some coffee. All right, traders, pinkies up, coffee's here. Let's go. Let's knock them down. Let's knock them down out there. Clean spark, nice spike there. Now 1217s, almost to the 1220s. So that was a good look there on the playbook, and I'm looking at that as miners doing pretty well, and I can pretty much call it there. Mara looking good, 18s looking pretty nice on the breakout to the upside. You got a nice quick sweep there. Coin to the upside. Hood on the pullback, looking like a nice little buy on the pullback. We'll see what happens there. Maybe 2740s is a better level there. But clean spark now going towards that resistance of the 1225s. Good spike there. I talked about through 12 was the breakout, the quick breakout, just break and go. I was looking for a little bit more of that pullback. We'll see if we get that pullback now, as it did do that break fake to the upside. We'll see if it pulls back here. And 1230 break, that's where I think you can really kind of get the motor going. We'll see what happens. 1250 is a big level to watch later in the day. Choose now pulling back there. VXX still on the downside here. Let's go to the sectors overall. What's leading here? Technology, cyclical, energy. But energy and cyclicals are actually in the red. It's just a technology type of move to the upside. Utilities pulling it back here out the gates. So looking at that action, seeing what's going on here. It's an interesting day indeed. All right, let's see what else is out there. What's getting the shake here? Dominion bouncing back. So XLU is getting the bounce back after a hard hit there. What happened to the financials? Financials faked to the 47 recovery. So if you're looking at complete upside today, see the financials are back above that 47 would be a nice day. Deere trying to head back through the 10. So looking at that, the industrial space a little bit. XLI holding in a little bit there. XLK technology pulling back off of that. AMD big pullback out the gates, trying to recover. We talked about how the Qs are weak. The SPY was a little stronger, now starting to pull back. I'm looking at XLF to see if it's going to go red. VXX still on the pullback to 5250s. That was a little bit of a cut down there. What about Glue and those names? Now Glue recovering, now looking pretty decent here as it just makes an attempt here. Just broke to the upside towards the 690s. Now doing a quick sweep attempt back towards the 650s, back towards 640s almost here. Looks interesting on Glue. Let's see the tape here. I like that pullback there. I just missed it there. Now trying to recover 7 here, 670s. Looking interesting. Let's see if it comes back here towards the 654s. That's what I'm looking for. One more attempt back into the 650s. Let's see what happens here. 37. We got about 10 seconds on the 1 minute clock here. And I'm looking down here to see some bigger orders here. I see some around the 670s. So that's where the buying is really happening, around the 670s. I'd like to see them get tested one more time. Come back towards like 655, hold the 650 cut down, and then I'll look for a recovery right back up here. Let's see if we get that sweep back towards the 650s here. on the limited account. Of course, Glue made me the money, so might as well look at this bad boy. It's looking strong here. It's trying to make an approach, I think, to an upside 15 minutes, so an approach to 7. I can see it in the works here. Now it's trying to break that 678, just trap some towards 680s here. Let's see if we see that quick sweep to the 655. All right, looking around to see what other ones are making a move there. AMIX on the pullback. Is that on the halt on the down? Yeah, halt on the down on AMIX. That looks like a nice little quick sweep on the downside. EVOX, also another one on the downside cut down. So just be careful out there. Glue seems to be holding in here, though. PRCT is another one. Big, strong move there, guys. Look at the move on that, guys. PRCT. Look at the strength in this bad boy. This is an expensive stock for it to be doing that. So if we're looking why medical devices are doing well, this is a bigger stock that's doing really well. Also, that's a big push for a big stock, 10% in the $80 range. So big move there. PRC with a pullback to the VWAP, push back right back up here. AMIX was halted on the downside there. Glue went for the move there, pulled back though off the 7. So it's holding right now. It went to 665, holding pretty well there. I missed that 650 pullback. Look at the 7 there now. Glue yourself to the seat, guys, because this is not looking too bad here. Nice little push there. 7/10. Now we're pushing. Now we're getting towards that 15-minute resistance, right? So right there, we could be reloading here off the 7s. That's what I'm watching for. A reload here towards the 7. Let's see what happens here. There's the reload there, trying to come back and get some volume, right? Get some volume on that pullback. Would like to see it hold the 90 MA, reload off of 7s there. Went to the 680s, caught some volume. Now reloading off of 7s. Will it take now? That's exactly what you want to see there if you're a bull. Looking great here. I'm not in this, so I'm just calling it here. Nice 7 recovery there towards the 710. Here's 712s. Now going to try to take the high. The 720s is what you kind of want to see really with some volume coming in here on Glue. But nice move there. PRCT looking good too. There's the 717s. Showed up for a second there. So we'll see if it takes it and starts to really get motoring here. But look at that, 75,000 shares there at the 699. So someone sold it there. Someone said, I want out. Big order there. That looks like to me a little bit of some of those gurus and furus out there. Wouldn't be surprised if some of the big names are out there. He just sold a big position there. Someone did. This is why it's so important to catch big positions, guys. Look at this, guys. 75,000 shares there on my screen at 699, right? And so important to catch these orders. Traders all the time miss those orders, and that's why you got to filter out. Look at that, 75,000 shares. That's going to move the market if you do that in one block, right? So you got a quick little sweep pullback there. Now it's recovering 7. Will it go and break there through that 7, get up there towards the 8? It's looking good here off of 7. Could do a quick sweep to the VWAP. So just keep an eye out, as this is a 15-minute resistance, right? That's the way I see it. So I'm going to go to the 5 minutes, see if I can draw it a little bit cleaner here. Let's see what I see here. All right, so you've had that first attempted breakout, and it's hard to draw it because the problem here is this approach, right? And so you pretty much had this breakout approach and kind of recovery here. So now you're going back towards a resistance and could pull back here towards the 660s on the pullback. We'll see if it reloads at 665, then comes back through 7, because 7 right now is being a struggle. There's a big seller there. We'll see if it gets back up there. 1, 2, 3. It tried this 4th attempt going through 710s. Let's see what happens if it gets above 7 one more time. Could go for that 715. You've had a couple attempts there, though, starting to pull back. We'll see what happens in Glue. I'm going to keep moving, though, because I'm not trading this one right now. EVOX, though, reopens at 10. Could start the upside move. This is pulled back here. Pretty significant amount, right? Back down towards 10 where I originally saw it break out there towards the 17s. So nice little pullback on it. Is this 50%? Let's see. Yeah, you're back at the 61.8, starting to bounce. So this is where Fibonacci retracement levels are going to be watching. Let's see if this makes a move to the upside here. I'm actually going to be watching here. It could go into a halt, but I'm going to take a shot here on this. About 100 shares that just started off here, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, just took a little bit there in the limited account there. I took it at 10.12s there. So just want to take a small approach here. Small entry risk here, maybe about $50 here towards 960s here. It's pulling back there just below 10s here. We'll look to see if it starts to come back here. But taking a little bit of an approach here on EVOK. EVOK for a $10 recovery. It did go on a down hole. It could go to another one, so I'm ready to get out if I need to. Let's see if it recovers 10 here and goes for a quick 11 move. If I start to see that quick 11 move, that's going to be the watch to really watch for the recovery there. There's back towards 10.14s. Let's see if we can get a move back up here in EVOK. Looking for a nice little up move here. Starting to struggle there. There's a little bit of an attempt there to get back into the 10s. Back above the 10s here now. They got to take 10.25 and then they can really start to move this thing. There we go. Now I just set the risk here at 966. So $40 in risk here, ready to add on the push to the upside. And then I can move the risk up. All right, now we're starting to move back up here. Let's see if we can get a push towards 1050s. Q's pulling back, still red there in the market, still pretty weak, but I see about 2 or 3 bottomings, and around 9:45 we could see that hourly long pullback. So now is the time to be watching those bigger stocks. I'll be watching those, trying to get a little bit of an entry here in EVOK and then really take a shot here. Now it's starting to get a little bit of an up approach here. Going to look to see if it really wants to make the move here. All right, we'll see if it takes off here. Looking for at least a 10% move to go into the hold. That'd be 11.15s. I have an ad at 10.50 here. Let's see if we get that ad to hit. It's trying to hit my ad right now. I'm moving it up a little bit more to see if it gets hit there into the 50s. Now I have it up there at like 57s. Don't want it to get hit unless it's on the big breakout attempt here. So there he goes. It just got hit there. Now I got to be careful with the stop, but there's the break to 11. That's exactly what I want to see here. Now I just want to see it take off and halt here. Let's see if it gets the move. Now we're back towards 124s here. Gonna in a second here be break even stop here. It's gonna go for the halt. It seems like we'll see if it gets the halt here, guys. EVOK in the halt here. 200 shares taking another halter. Let's go. Let's see if it gets into that halt here. I think it's halted right now. There it is. There's the halt, guys. There's the halt. There's the halt. All right, there's the halt, guys, and I have a stop placed out there at 966. It stayed there, so now in a nice position here. Going to go to the main account and try to take another trade into the bigger names. Let's see what happens. Google back down to 168. I like this retracement off of this. I've been waiting to see if Google would pull back here, so nice opportunity here to maybe play the bottom and bottom fish off of Google here, so I like this. All right, let's see if I can play Google here. It's on hourly long pullbacks back down. Could risk off the next layer. The next layer on the hourly is back towards 167.39. So about $1 risk here. Let's see, 78 cents there. Yes, about 78 cents. Let's see if I can get 168 here. Get it closer towards that 168 would be a really nice level here. It's had about 1, 2, 3. This is that fourth attempt here to break here. Let's see if we get 168. If not, I'm going to be ready to start getting into some Google here. Apple's another one to keep on watch. That one's pulling back and still holding in. This one's actually looking a little bit more bullish than Google on the pullback. Nice little hold there. Could come back to 232.70 on Apple. So definitely seeing the pullback in the market. Now I'm seeing the Qs start to balance out there. We'll see if we start to get an up move here. Airbnb doing well today. Yeah, nice little push there. So really interesting. We'll see what happens on Evoke when that opens up, but nice little move going into the halt. Guys, what do you guys think? I'm getting after it. Let me know in the chat. What are you guys trading out there? AMIX, how did that one do? That looks like it's trading on the downside there. Glue's coming back here for that 7. Came back up there to 730s. Now pulling back. Still holding in. I definitely saw a lot of traders trading that one. I went for the Glue. There's Google going for that 168 cut down there. Holds in pretty well right now. Watching for it on the 5-minute there. 1, 2, 3. Could go for that breakdown here. I'm waiting another 5 minutes at least till 10. Seems like to take some of the bigger trades here. But Tesla, how's that doing? Big pullback there also. So 271 acting like big resistance on Tesla. Could be on a bigger pullback today. It doesn't look too bad to maybe even take a short there. So I'm watching it, guys. I'm watching it. I think some traders are too. And I think they could come back towards 269.25s on pullbacks to the VWAP right now. But other than that, a takedown through the 266, 267 level down below this 266.75 could be your continued breakdown there in Tesla. I think it comes back here at least to the 269.25s. I'm looking for maybe potential short on that if the Qs just remain weak here. Google, though, went to that 168, just bounced off of that level, 168.03. So now could be the time where we start to catch that bottoming action. We got double bottoms on the 15 minutes there for Google. I'm watching it. How's Microsoft? Microsoft also pulling back there. So it's a pullback, a big pullback here. Amazon's hanging on a little bit there. I'm seeing technology. The only thing that's slightly green, everything else is kind of getting really hit here. Things are starting to bounce back though. Let's see what happens in like the recent, let's go to the last 15 minutes. What's happening in the last 15 minutes in these sectors? Energy bouncing back. So, of course, energy hit hard. Healthcare bouncing back. Industrials, basic materials. So maybe a silver day. Ooh, silver. Holding on that 760s. Could make an up approach here. We'll see what happens. The hourly looking good there on silver. So I know that a lot of traders like to take a look at silver and gold. So nice little recovery there in AG. You can also take a look at MAG. MAG holding 1750s. Could make an approach to 18 today. So calling that out. That's actually an interesting trade there. Google still pulling back there. So catching traders, right? It seemed like the obvious trade on Google. So I'm looking at potentially maybe this has a little bit more down here, and it does. It's breaking down. Tesla going for a breakdown approach here now, and it tried to bounce there at 269, could not bounce at 269, could reject 267 here and really go lower. I'm looking at potentially shorting Tesla here on a quick trade here. And I'd have to keep it really tight, but does look like it wants to reject that. It just rejected 277 there. Could start to break down further here. All right, starting to break down already here. Let's see what happens. I'm taking a shot here. Ooh, I need to get my buying power. All right, well, I got to get my buying power checked there. I went for the short there, had some issues there. So let me go check on that, guys. I'll check on that. I need to go back to Evoke. Evoke here. Evoke, guys, opened up on the halt down, guys, on the halt down here. So crazy move there on Evoke. Did not get my shot on this here. Halt on the down action. Didn't hit my stop, though. That's the problem there. The stop did not get hit there. So Evoke opened up there at 952. I waited for a slight second too long there. Tesla costed me a little bit here. We'll see what happens when Evoke opens up. It might hit my stop almost immediately there. Got to cancel that as I look to see what happens here out the gates there. Evoke looked great here, but it came down in a hurry there after the 11. I was up pretty decent there too. So we'll see what happens. Ugly open there off of the candle here on Evoke. All right, guys, what are you guys trading out there? IMIX, how's that? That's on the down halt. It's back at the VWAP. We'll look to see if that gets an up move. Glue, still looking good there. It's pulled back to the 720s, just made an approach to the 750s. Could keep going through the 8s. We'll see what happens on glue. Taking a look here, GNLN, also another one starting to recover. Green Lane Holdings, a tobacco name. I think we saw this one make a big move, but now slowing down a little bit. LTBR, that one's doing great. The chat's all over that one. They got to give a shout out to my man Jag, calling it, saying it's popping. It's looking good there. That's actually looking really nice there. So 860 recovery, looking good there. NNE still struggling a little bit here. We'll see what happens right now. Still hasn't really broken through the 20, a fake out there. We'll look to see if we get a pullback back towards the 19 and then a recovery later in the day. I'll be watching NNE. Evoke there, definitely going to be a little bit of a struggle there. We'll see what happens, guys. Smash it up. It's a good day today. We'll keep going. Let's go. All right, let's see what else is going on out there, guys. Let's go. Let's go. All right, looking around, guys. We'll see what happens. I'm looking around to see what else is taking a trade out there. Tesla tried to break that 277, went down to the 266.04, so that would have been a good short at least right off the top. Let's see what happens if it does get a bounce there. Will the Qs bounce? We're near the bottom here. Definitely could start to see a bounce there. Google tried to break down that 168, finally getting the bounce there. It went down right to it. Now we're starting to see Google starting to come back. So there it is. You guys see it. Google starting to work its way back here. Let's see what happens now. Can we get a 168.50s hold here? Google looking good. All right, team, looking around. Google coming back here, 168.80s, holding well here. I like it. I like it. Oof. All right, 168.80s. That looks good there. Google recovering 168.80s. All right, looking around. We'll try to keep getting at the action here. Having a little issues with one of mine, so we'll deal with that. Let's take a look here at Evoke when it opens up here. Evoke down here. I'm trying to get out here, guys. All right, just got out there on Evoke, guys. Took the hit there, 273s. Can't lose more than that. And this thing could come back, but had to get out there. And you guys saw me use the X close. The X close is my just emergency out there. Emergency out indeed there, getting a big hit there on EVOK, and it could hold on the downside again here. Glad I got out there, took the hit, but we'll bounce back. Let's go get it, guys. Let's go get it. Still in the green on the day here on this account. I got still a good day to battle here, guys. So let's go looking at what we can trade here. Glue going to the 790s, almost for the 8. So that's held the 9 EMA pretty. So we'll see if that starts to make a move. Will AMIX get a bounce here and actually start to make a move back towards the upside? This was the strongest one. So now it's coming back towards a 15-minute resistance here, at least a bigger time frame, 1570s holding well here on that. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see if this can get the move right back up there, back through the 17s is a big level to watch for. And then it could start to recover here. Has gone to the VWAP a couple of times here. 1, 2, could do one more attempt there, then recover there. We'll see what happens. 1570s, a good looking level there for AMIX. Still hasn't really made an up approach. So watching Glue there. Glue going for the 8, now 793s. NWL, ooh, PDD. Nice, nice. The Baba trade is looking good, guys. We're almost recovering my level here, guys. So here you guys have it. Look at that, guys. Baba into the green here with that trade. And you guys know that I took that trade. And I want to actually take a little bit off here into the green because I actually had the size down on this approach. So I'm going to take a little bit off here on Baba in the green here. All right, there you guys have it. Just took a little bit off there. I want to add on this approach, but I want to take some back here and try to size down. This is a swing trade approach. A basic in swing trading is also when if you mistime your entry, when the trade comes back to you, one of the things you can do is just size down, right? So if you felt you got in too much risk, take the risk off now. Right now that you're back into the green and you're in a control situation, act like it's almost a new position and you just opened it, right? And how much you're going to willing to risk now, right? At this point, I want to take some of that off there to take that risk down, right? And so there you guys have it, taking some off. And then I can look for, hey, where would you add? Well, I'll add back down at 98.26. So around 98.50s, something like that would be a nice add. And that's a pullback based off of what? Based off of a higher low, right? Keep giving me those higher low opportunities or come back towards a close price and I'll take another add there. But looks good there on Baba today. Looking really good as it recovered. China stocks coming back here, guys. So FXI in play today, guys. And look at the FXI. That looks pretty good there. I'd also be taking a look at what else? Well, I'd be taking a look at the CJNUG or something like Yin. The yin starting to come back there. Really strong move there in the yin. PDD, I know being mentioned out there, but look at that. That's a nice breakout. And the good thing about this one is it's tight and you can scalp it, right? You can scalp a trade like that on yin. Looks pretty good there. Baba now making a big clear up move here. China, nice breakout move. Could look for some pullback there, but China's looking good. Qs could be coming back here. Google could be coming back. We'll find out here, guys. Looking pretty decent there as things start to alerts are going off here, guys. Let me see where I got that alert here. NNE now starting to shoot to the upside. That's a nice breakout here. Looking at the limited account to see if I can grab this bad boy. That's a quick move here. I'm trying to grab it here on the pullback here. Let's see if I can grab some here and then grab the pullback. Looking for the pullback back towards 20, but if it might not pull back here, it might just keep breaking out here. Good move here in NNE, trying to grab onto it here. All right, taking 100 shares there at 2050s as I see the strength continue here. Looking for a little pullback add here. This is NNE, and of course did not want to miss it this time. So where's the pullback add? It's going to be towards 2010s here. Now starting to push above that as it goes towards the 2060s. This one could just take off to the 21s here. Of course, you guys know I like this one. Going to keep a watch on it. Next resistance is going to come into play, and that's towards 2080s. Let's see if it just breaks through that. It's strong right now. Looking for pullbacks to add here, but not a bad move here to start it off here as we start with a nice little push here. All right, there's NNE looking like it wants to load up and keep it moving. That's why I took a little bit here, but we'll see what I can do here. I'm still looking for a little pullback to add a little bit more in this. Not taking a smaller name here, just going for something more simple, more up my alley, but Glue doing well. If there's one name I should have continued watching, Glue. That was a great one today. It's up there to 830s. Took a big hit on EVOK, but hey, just going to keep battling, guys. That's what it's all about. NNE in the chat. I see it. I see it. Not a bad day. Not a bad day, guys. Smash the like. Let's keep it moving, guys. Tesla back to 269.50s. All right, NNE holding that 2060s right now. Looking for it to continue going here. Looking good here. There's a take to the upside. Looking good on the first break to the upside. We'll see if it breaks through 21, but a big breakout there in NNE, starting to push strong here. Of course, you guys know the nano nuclears, and I'm coming back and forth on this. Nice little expansion starting to push here. All right, looking for a nice little quick 80 bucks on this. Let's see if we can get it on a quick little spike here. Take the money, and then from there, I can reload into this bad boy. I think it could really get going here, but I'm going to look for a nice little reload here eventually. Let's see what happens if it just wants to take off here. 2070s, 2080s now, really pushing strong here. Could come back to the 2040s, but I'm at 2050s, so I'm feeling confident, right? This is why I stepped up earlier here. There's that spike towards 21. That's where I can expect it going towards maybe 2120s, 2130s here on a quick spike. Could take that profits and run at that point, right? Then look for a little bit of a pullback re-entry here. That's what I'm going to kind of look for as it spikes towards the next level, which could be 2150s here. So looking for the continued move back up above towards a spike above 21s, and then going to look for that pullback to the 9 EMA. Then we'll be trying to play it back again here. Let's see if I can just come rinse and repeat on this bad boy. Looking pretty decent here. EXX looking weak. Q's starting to climb back, so that actually looks pretty decent here. Could start to climb here. I see Tesla starting to come back there. That doesn't look too bad there. Qualcomm coming back there. Google was one that I was watching. It's at 168.9, almost 169 now. Almost was talking about that 168 pullback buy, right? Having some issues there, trying to get my account working again here, guys. Having a little issues there. So just dealing with that. All right, NNE still looking good here, though. There's a nice little pullback holding right now. Could come back to the 2050 pullback, right? Right back to the VWAP here. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep it moving here. How are we doing out there, traders? What are you guys taking a look at? Let's get after it. NNE. Still holding well here on the 2080s. Could go for that next move up here. Thinking about taking an ad here, but it will push me up here. There's the 2090s looking good there as it starts to break to the upside here. Time to sell the rip here. Looking for a rip here to sell into here. There's the push towards the 21s. Could start the real push here. Let's see if it goes there. 2105s now. Up about 50. Could sell it into this push here. Gonna sell it probably here. There's 16s here. Doesn't look too bad there for one more little spike up here. See if we can get towards 2130s and I take the money and run here. I think we get to 2150s, but I'll keep it at the 2150s right now, kind of playing with it back and forth, guys. It's above 21s. That's really what I'm looking for. A nice little push above here. Sell it and then look for the pullback for the ad here. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. One little more push here. Looking for an expansion candle back up. Let's go. Trying to reload on 21s right now. Seeing 2102s go by. $21.17s, $21.18s. I'm approaching that push at least to, let's see if it pushes through the high at least here. Come on. Give me that spike up. Not getting it here. Starting to pull back off that 21. Might reload here. $21s is trying to hold it. There you go. Held it right there. Let's see if we get a quick push here. Last little push I'm going to sell into here, into this push. Come on. Get that push up there. All right, we're seeing that comeback there. So definitely having a little bit of a move back here. BXX taking a hard down move there, guys. So that's the Qs coming back, and Google looking great on that comeback here. So really nice move there. Did get the attempt back towards the 21s, but I'm holding right now, guys, because the 90 EMA is slowly curling, and it's way above my entry now. So we could get a 90 EMA attempt where it goes to 2080s, but it's still holding in pretty well here. Just trying to continue riding it up here. All right, 2150s is in reach here now. I think we're going to get a quick little move to that, so I might just take the money around like the 40s here. Here it goes, guys. We'll see if we get that move up, and I can see it with the expansion candles of the Bollinger Band there, and that's why I was going for it. Here's the move into the 30s. It's not too much difference here, so I'm looking at 37 on an out. It just hits it on a quick move there. Went to 2130s there. Could pull back to the 90 EMA now. We'll see if it gets back up there to the 2130s. Did not hit me. I was a little bit further up there. Let's see if we can get a quick little spike here. Trying to get off of it, so I pushed it up a little bit here. Let's see. There's a little spike there into the 30s. There it is. Come on. Come and get me. There's 27s. Looking to go ahead and take that money and run here. Let's go. Let's go. Get it. Still looking strong here. Trying to ride it right now. Did get some buys up there. You can see it as it went through there. There was some 2120s, 2130s. There's a quick pullback. Quick pullback to 2070s. Now I can go ahead and add and take a shot here. I want to add, but off of 2088 or something like that. All right, guys. Putting it out there for an add at 2088s. Let's see if I can get the pullback towards 2090s, really. Just pulled it back a little bit as it came back there. I can see it pulling back there. Trying to catch me on a little bit of a pullback. Now it's on the reload through 21 here. Could start taking off to the next spot here. There we go. Trying to get in at 21 now on a pullback here. Let's see if we can just get a quick pullback to 21 here. Slightly below. This point won't lose on the position. Just trying to add and then take a shot, really. Getting a quick little pullback here. Back towards 2090s now. There's a quick little pullback. All right, going to go for it here. I'm trying to get filled here, guys. I stepped up. Now I'm going towards like 2110s and stuff like that. So right underneath it, trying to add at 2110s here. All right, any pullback, I'll start to get that fill. Looking for that next expansion move higher here. Looking good here, already towards the 2130s there. I'll move up a little bit, trying to get filled here in between the spread. The spread's swinding out here. That's where you got to be a little bit careful. There's a nice little push here. Now we're moving. All right, now trying to step up into even the 30s here. There we go, towards 2140s now. 2145s on the offer here. Looking for quick pullbacks to get filled on. But if I don't get filled on the pullback, that's fine. I'm making money, right? Can't be mad about making money. Trying to get filled on pullbacks, but other than that, not going to overreach myself. Looking for it to keep expanding here. Looking good here as it continues. There's 2150s. Not filling me on the pullback there. All right, canceling my pullback ad here. Now towards 58. It's going to probably take the money and run here and just take the money. Looks pretty good there. Approaching the 2080 breakout here. Just trying to take some off here and just take it. All right, guys, going to take the money and run here. Let's see if I can get it. Oof, 2150s. It just hit it on the offer. Trying to get it out at 2150s here. Can we get an expansion a little higher here? This one's a back and forth one for me right now. Slowing down, and I do want to add, but it kind of busted that opportunity there at 21s. All right, this is starting to pull back here, guys. Yeah, it's pulling back now towards the 2120s. Just pulled back there to 2110 here. Could come back to VWAP. Missed my opportunity there to take the 2150s. So right now I'm trying to set a stop loss into the green. All right, that's a move back above. It could go for the breakout above that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a stop here at like 2095s. Setting the stop here, guys, 2095. If it hits me, it hits me. But I think it could come back towards 2030s, and then I can try to get back in there on the VWAP. You see right there, got hit there, and then it starts to pull back. Could easily come back towards that 2030s. I will try to rebuy it there, but we'll see what happens if it comes back through the 2050 spot. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go. Glue 830s and continuing to hold. That one's starting to look a little slow. AMIX though right back down. Evoke did not kind of break down from there. Now starting to come back. We'll see what happens on that one. GNLN though getting going and then slowing up a little bit there. Green Lane Tobacco got up there to 4 multiple times. Now has pulled back in the last like 3 or 4 minutes here. We'll look to see if it goes right back up there. Definitely a strong move out the gates here. Can it keep going? Find out. PRCT, also smaller, a big name, right? I talked about how this one was strong. We'll look to see if it continues going today. 15-minute, nice looking candle there on the 86 pullback. All right, NNE did get me. Now starting to come back there, so we'll see what happens. NNE holding that 21 21 pullback there. Went back towards even 2090. So now could make that up approach again. We'll see what happens on that one. Was able to get at least some on that one. Didn't get as much as I wanted. SMR continuing the move. That one's looking strong. That one's continued the strength here. So SMR, big push there. Q's overall starting to recover here. Could start to kind of come right back down here. We'll see what happens if Tesla starts to break back down here. Doesn't look too bad for that breakdown. We'll see what happens on that. Baba holding 100, went up there to the 103s. Now could make that pullback on those China stocks. Keep an eye out on there. NIO continuing the upside. I know Steve was watching that one. Shout out to my man, Steve. All right, catching up in the chat. There you go. Kevin's watching it too. Futu, yeah, all those China stocks doing really well right now, guys. Those names are doing pretty good. That could even help Starbucks on the upside, guys. So Starbucks could be getting a lift off of that, right? I talk about this all the time. Starbucks' best move is if China gets better, not if the U.S. gets better. They keep pointing to the U.S., but watch how quickly they start talking about China if Starbucks starts doing well. So Starbucks is a sneaky play in China. And E holding well there on that 2118. I'm not going to take it right now. I'm looking at some of the smaller ones right now to see what's going on there. Glue still holding in well off that 840s, but slowing up a little bit. It's not as fast as it was, right? Starting to pull back now. Could go for an undercut here, right back down here. We'll see what happens there on Glue. Could be pulling back to the 740s. GNLN, one that kind of tried to make the move, but started to slow up there. IBRX looks a little bit better now, going for the 650s, right? So 15-minute chart on this thing. Big push here. Now starting to really get going. Let's see if it can continue the strength here. It's almost 660s. Could get towards the 7. Was up there on Friday towards 710s. So IBRX, one of the names that is moving out there. What do you guys got out there in the smaller names? Let me know. Okay, LO. What a move there. Big spike there towards 23s. Could be pulling back towards the 2125. VWAP starting to slow down a little bit there, but this one's been a strong name, guys. Look at the expansion away from the 9 EMA. The strength in this one. Really strong. Now starting to reject the 23s, but we'll see what happens there. 2310s rejected. 2310s rejected. Will we pull back right back towards the 2125? Okay, LO. It's tradable and has a pretty tight spread here, guys. So it's an interesting name, though. The utilities are pretty strong today. They could be pulling back at any moment here. I'd like to see utilities pulling back, and that could give me the sign. Okay, that's starting to slow down there. And so OKO goes to the 2310s again. Gives me that opportunity here to short off the high, which is the 27s. And so it doesn't look too bad. To tell you the truth, it really doesn't here. Let's see if I can risk like maybe $100 here. All right, there's the 23 rejection again here. So if I'm going to take it, this is my shot to take it here. We'll see what happens. It's trying to get back up there. Could reject 23s and come down fast here. Slow to the move here. I slowed up there. Could have taken it, though. I had the shot there. I was a little bit hesitant there. I can see it. Why? Because of the trend line, right? And so the trend line approach is what I'm a little bit concerned about, which is this right here. So the trend line approach, right? So I'm looking for a move up and then rejecting it again here. So we've had 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down. This is that last move for the rejection. There's a quick rejection there. I like that rejection there. I'm going to go for a little bit of a smaller first start here. I'm looking for a 23 entry. There it is, guys. I just took it there, guys. Taking a little bit of a shot here. So just got a little bit of a shot there. Took 500 shares there. OKLO. Short side, baby. Short side. Quick trade here, guys. Got to be quick on this. Got to know the risk here, which is about $80 here right now. Move back towards 23.16 will get me out here. Looking for the first move to really break down fast here. There we go. 22s, 90s. Let's go. Let's go. Break that 23. Don't get back above the 23.10s and really push down towards the 22s. It's holding right now. Holding. I'm in the green here. About to just leave it break even. Coming back on me a little bit here. There's the first action. Looking good there. Nice rejection there. Now into the 80s. Looking good. Now sweep to the 2270s is what I'm looking for. There's the first action. Looking good here on the first action. In a second, I'm going to be break even. If we could break that 2280s, which is a 9 EMA, that's the breakdown look. Here it comes back on me really quickly here, guys. Got to be careful here. Getting the stop out approach here. Definitely getting squeezed here fast, guys. Got to be careful here. Squeeze through the 30 here. All right, stop place there at 190 risk here. Could get hit here. Woo! That was a fast move, guys. Getting squeezed on AKLO. Let's see what happens here. It's definitely squeezing on me, guys. Coming back here, guys. Woo! Got to be careful here. Squeeze could be getting me. Man, this AKLO, what a squeeze right there. That was a quick squeeze there. Nice rejection on the pattern, just quick recovery. So had that stop been placed there, should have been protected there. So that's one thing that I'll just look back and kind of try to improve on, right? So now I'm just trying to hold it right there off that high. If it breaks that high, it's going to come get me here. It's breaking it right now. It's approaching it. There it goes for the break and got me, guys. Got me. Got me good there on that 23. So there it got taking a hit there, guys. So still battling on the account on the day, but slowly but surely losing that strength that I had this morning in the limited account. Trying to balance back, but hey, it is what it is there. Google overall came back down here, guys. So now we're starting to see the weakness come back in the market. It's a crazy one today. Starting to reject that 271 there in the bigger stocks there. Main account still, I think I'm still having some issues there. So let's see what happens. $272. Let's put here. I'm just trying to look to see if I can get it in order in right now. Tesla coming back fast there, guys. The strength in Tesla is the strength I see also in the SPY. SPY's looking good there. Silver will recover. We'll see what happens there, but SPY looking pretty decent there. XLV recovering there. Healthcare starting to try to make another move. And there's some good healthcare stocks out there, right? So we'll see what happens on AMIX. That could make another move. Did come down there towards the 14s. Has slowed down there. Now healthcare overall starting to bottom out. This looks actually decent here. Could reverse and then start making a move back towards 15. We'll see what happens there on AMIX. On the hourly, it's on the hourly support there. We'll see if it gets the volume needed there. Tesla strong there. All right, taking a look here to see what happens on AMIX. All right, let's see what happens on this bad boy. The spread is a little wide, though. That's one thing I would say. Move could be like $2, though. That's one thing to keep in mind, right? So you go about it slow. Just seeing a bunch of bottoming on it. It's had a couple of downholds, so you got to be careful with that. What's this 15-minute opened at 1450? has about 2 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. This is normally when I start to see 15-minute candles whip back. So I'm looking to take a shot here, guys. There's the first action, guys. I'm going to take a shot here, guys. I'm taking the first 100 there. Looking for pullback adds here back towards 14. So orders out there. I just took some at 1450s. It just went to 14. I'm looking to add, but down back towards like 14 here, guys. So if I get a move back towards like 14, I will get an add here. Looking to see what I can get here. I just took 100 shares there. Still trying to get a little bit of an add here, but I don't want to extend myself too quickly here. AMIX. Still could get a quick pullback, so still trying to play pullbacks off the support here. So I'm actually putting it out below 14 here. So trying to get in here on a quick pullback add here. Could always raise it up if it starts to make that move to 15 here. There's 1480s. Now it looks like a real recovery here. Still trying to play it on the pullback, but just waiting here, guys. Taking the shot on AMIX on the reversal here. And this is also into the AMIX MACD reversal here. So it reversed right around here and now starting to get the strength there. So looking to see if maybe I get an attempt down towards the 1377s. But other than that, recovery of 15 could start working us back. There's a little pullback there, guys, so got to be careful, but there's some strength coming back into the 1470s. Will they take the 15 and really kind of run this? So I'm just looking to see if we get a potential trend line break back to the upside here, guys, and so will we get it? That's what I'm looking at here. Now the 15-minute candle starting to come back there. 15 break. It looks good there. Now I'm looking for quick pullbacks back below 15 here to get the add here. So I'm putting 1579s out, 1479s out. Looking for a quick pullback fill and then a go. There's some pullback towards my entry here. We'll see if I get the entry. Has to be below 15 and then take off there. That's what I'm looking for, the action. Now starting to hold the 1520s. Now I'm at the 1470s here. Could get that pullback fill here. Let's see if I get it. Just pulled back there towards it. Didn't give me the fill there, though. That's one thing I'll say. No fill there. I'm pulling back a little lower than that now because I went right to it. I actually had to pull off a little bit further to see if I can get a little bit better fill action. There was the action there. Should have got the fill there. It was close to the 80s there. No fill on that. Now looking for the 15 just to recover here. Let's see what happens. All right, still holding in here. Let's pull it back. Trying to find some buyers. There you go, lining some up there at the 1510s now. Now we're rocking and rolling here. About to take my shot here, guys. All right, trying to take my shot here, guys. Trying to add into this move here. There's a little pullback. Pulling back, trying to get filled here. There we go. Just got the fill there. Now I got to be careful here. Understand my risk here. Down to the bottom's about $100 here. So there's that move there. Got to be careful there. It's approaching that 14 breakdown. So back through that 14. I got to be careful. Got to get out. If it hits that underneath that 14. So 131 my risk here. Let's see if it comes right back up here. Oh, just got me there, guys. The bid just dropped out there. Bid just dropped out. So it just got me there on the 1396 pullback there, guys. And it could come right back up here. So let's see what happens. But, man, that was a close one. It was looking like it was going for the VWAP move and then just got the big bar on it. So Bollinger Band move to the up to the bottom there. Maybe a little bit too much, and I could risk a little bit more on the trade itself, but wanted to keep the risk manageable for the underneath takedown and then all of a sudden a halt. So back through the 14, it starts to look good again, but AMIX just couldn't get going there. Google at 169.50, definitely looking back, and on the main account, we'll be a little bit frustrated. I couldn't get it to work right now. So hey, it is what it is. Limited account battling today, going for these smaller names and losing it, man, losing it after Glue gave me a good trade this morning. So we'll see what happens there. Glue now running into a little bit of some resistance at 8, slowing down. GNLN not going anywhere. Got a little spike there, but turned right back down. AMIX now starting to hold here. We'll look to see if it does do a whipsaw right back up. Definitely caught some traders there on that whipsaw. We'll look to see if it makes a move or not. All right, looking around there, ARM mentioned in the chat. ARM, good move right back up there in ARM, so that's looking pretty decent there. AMD looking pretty decent, up there to the 160, holding well. Tesla fading back off the 272s. We'll see what happens on that as the Qs start to break down a little bit here. And the SPY not looking the strength, not looking really strong here. VXX starting to come back here. Will the VXX get a spike here? It's interesting. Let's see if I have some ability to trade here in the main account here. All right. Oh, well, not what I wanted there. Let's see if I can get it here. Yeah, for some reason, man, having some buying power restrictions. Yeah. Can't get it. Is what it is. All right, we'll see what happens. Let's go to the limited account. I'll take it on the limited account here. All right, going to go ahead and take a trade here. Take a nice size trade here on the limited account. There you guys have it. Long here. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, when you want to long and you say you're actually short there. Let's do this the right way. Want to go long there. Let's go. All right, risking off to kind of the 5260s right now. Really looking for a nice little push here. If the Qs could pull back here in the SPY. Tesla's the really one that I'm watching here. If it can come back down below the 271s, I could break down here. Let's see if some weakness comes into the market now. The Qs and the Google were looking good there. But Apple is the one that I'm also watching here. See if it comes back towards the VWAP. If not, the strength is still looking good there in Apple. If there's one name that's still staying strong, it's still looking good, Apple. AMD's looking good. We heard right now ARM, that's definitely a good move there. And if you take a look at what's leading the Qs right now on semiconductor, Moderna having a good day. Intel really pushing strong. So the strong names continuing that push there. PDD, China names pulling back, now getting a little bit of some push. Starbucks was a strong one. Let's see what happens here. Tesla coming back there towards the 271.90s. Will it go to 273s here at 271? That's pretty much what I'm watching here as a good signal here. We'll see what happens back through the 5280s. Might add here and take a shot here. We'll see what happens. Can I make a good maybe $600 trade again here? I'm going to go for it maybe here on the limited. Let's see if it gets back there to that 5280s and really starts to make the move. Pulling back right now, testing me right now. With the key is watching what happens, I think, with the SPY here. The SPY is looking like a big cup and handle pattern, but can it do it? That's what I'm looking at on the SPY. The Qs overall look weaker than the SPY. It just looks like a fade that went right now and just did a blow-off attempt towards 598. So if it recovers back through that 598, that's where the strength comes back in. So you got to look for that 598 recovery. That's the 15-minute candle also going back into the green. 497.81s is a level to watch there. in the Qs. The Qs chopping around a little bit here. SPY trying to make a little bit of an up attempt here. The Qs right off of that level. So you can see here, I'll show you guys the Qs. The Qs trying to recover there. Can it get to the 498 there? That's the big level to watch there. Hourly did hold that hourly long pullback, so could just work its way back slowly but surely to the upside. PDD holding that pullback to 125. So swing trades looking good, guys. If we talk swing trades, you've got to be looking at, of course, different outlook on the daily. Dailies are starting to look good there in China. FXI also starting to work its way back. China names, we'll see what happens. Did get some alert there. Let's see what happens there. NNE now giving me alert for the upside on the pullback, right? We talked about how it could pull back to the 2050. It's back to that spot there. Could take a look at it here to maybe play along here on the 2050s. But the way that the market's looking like, it's looking a little heavy here. We might pull back here. We'll see what happens. But is this an opportunity? Yes, it is an opportunity. But I'm already in a trade here on the VXX. DJT for a day trade. I hate it, man. I always suck at trading it. That's why I don't bring it up too often. Orders in place, all done for the day. Have a good one. Hey, take care. Have a good one. All right, guys, let's see what happens on the VXX. See if I can get a win here today. It's been a back and forth day, and so that's the battle right now. The Qs essentially are red from the open, and so is the SPY. But we could still recover, right? Could still recover on the day. I think it's just kind of back and forth day. And the big part is the first hour was red, and now we're having that kind of pullback in the half hour. This seems like it's going to be an afternoon or end of the market day kind of day where the action really happens then. This could be another fade off the VWAP, so I got to be careful here off the 60s. Going to get that fade attempt here. Could bounce off the 55s. Other than that, got to get the heck out of here, man. All right, getting that down attempt right now. Could wash me out in just a second here, guys. We'll see what happens. Getting that pressured approach here. Wish I had the main account today, but it just is what it is. All right, we'll see if we get the bounce back towards the 52.75s. Still approaching the pullback there. I think this, come on. All right, so we got this in the main account. All right, so we are in the main account. It's been a back and forth day, guys. I'll tell you that. I'm going to need some more coffee. It's 10:41, guys. We'll be wrapping up in just about 20 minutes. We got the main account working again here. That's this one right now. So I was looking over and I was like, hold on, what is going on here? Because I've been flipping back and forth trying to get to it. So you can see here, of course, the last filled orders there showing only 152. Going back and forth, I mean, am I in the wrong one here? This is the battle here. All right, we'll see what's going on here, guys. 205. What's going to happen here? Bixie definitely testing me here. Getting the washout opportunity right now. About to get me out of this trade here. Woo! Getting washed down right now. Q's taking off here, guys. Definitely trying to get out of the trade here, but it just went blowing through the bids there. I tried to get out there. Couldn't even get out there. So right now I'm underneath it looking to see if it bounces, but Definitely took the hit there. Main account might be down a little towards 400 now. So limited account is down $1 there. So nothing's wrong going on with that account. Looking at this one right now to see what's going on, and the VIX gets back above the 52.75. The Qs did make the up attempt there, though. Will they go back through that 498, or will they struggle here? The 15 minutes still struggling a little bit there. Now the 1 minute pulling right back here. So it's a little bit of a back and forth action right now. SPY coming right back down here. It's definitely a little choppy right now, guys. Be careful out there. Tesla 273 though, still holding in well. All right, day trade and swing trade action, right? That's always very important, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about that today. So let's go ahead. Let's take an approach here to see what's going on in the swing trade action. There is one swing that I'm looking at potentially, guys, and that's IonQ. So IonQ would be more of that short opportunity. Taking a look at it, the strength in this thing is just insane to me, right? It's getting up there towards daily and weekly resistance, but that's what I would be looking at now, the weekly resistance. And when does that come into play? That comes into play closer towards 20. The same thing for Palantir, right? Palantir is an absolute monster, but the 45 has been a struggle. And I've talked about how when we get to this level, it looked good for a potential pullback back towards 40 and maybe back below that, right? And so now you're starting to see the slowdown even today as it rejected the 45.50 move, now holding on to the 45s. Could go red today. I'm watching this Palantir, and it looks good for a swing trade action. We'll see what happens. Does it recover? Does it stay strong? Market's been strong. That's one to definitely keep an eye out for, is Palantir, IonQ, and others. Tesla remaining strong here, trying to make the next move towards a 273 recovery there and get back through that level. It's looking good right now. It's actually climbing back here and leading some of the action to the upside. SMCI doing pretty decent there. Google off the 169.45. Could recover the 170 today. We'll see what happens there. And Glue holding in on the 8, now starting to pull back there. GNLN, though, made the run there towards 4. It looks like it ticked off the 350. Got a nice little push. Now pulling back. This one's a nice little push and pullback type of name. 9EMA not holding well on this. More the VWAP holding well. We'll see if it can keep holding well. IMIX now back through the 14s, and that's the way it goes, guys. It could still make the move higher. This is definitely one to watch. We'll see what happens later in the day to see if it does make another breakout attempt. It's just been hanging out, getting sleepy after the big moves in the pre-market on this bad boy. All right, guys, I'll try to alert back through the 1468 there. I'm starting to get a little bit of a spike there in the VXX. The Q's coming back down. It seems like it's a back and forth type of day there. VXX now starting to get a little bit spiky here. So let's see if maybe I get my ad here and really take a shot. Looking back at the 15-minute, I'm seeing the bottoming action off that 52.39. So that's some bottoming action there. Could start working its way back up here. Let's see if it really wants to go here. It needs to be a quick action in the Qs, so I'm not going to overreact here. I think I could still get a good move, even if this starts to get back to me, and then I can at least limit the damage on the downside here. We'll look to see what happens if it can come back towards 52.75s and really take that out. That's really the level that I'm looking at. Tesla's starting to slow down a little bit there, and so that's a good sign there for the bears if this starts to turn around off of 273s here. So not a bad one to watch here. All right, we'll see if Tesla can start rejecting that 273s. It looks good there off that 273s for a little bit of a short attempt here. We'll see what happens. It definitely has hit there on the 15-minute a couple of times. Could go right back towards that 273, but I like it there. We'll see what happens. Started to reject it right here. Now going back to the 9 EMA. Could kick a quick move down here, right back towards the 271. Let's see if I can get it, man. Even with 100 shares, it looks good here. Can I get a 273 attempt? Ooh. I could get it if I want to. I'm thinking about it here, guys. There goes a little down here. Q's coming down a little bit here, giving me a little signal. If I want to go for it, it's going to be now or never. I'm going for it, team. I just got a starter on there on Tesla. Short here. Still long the VIX too, so taking a little bit of a double approach here. Got to be careful here, of course. First action to that 273. Not going to risk much on this first action. I'll risk like 95 bucks here. First action down on Tesla, looking good there. First rejection away from the 273 now. Okay, good action there. I'm adding to Tesla here, guys. So I just added to Tesla. Now I need to be careful with the risk, right? Don't want it back through that 273. So I'm going to risk 273.12, something like that. That's 155 right now. Really looking for the VIX also to get back up there, guys, because the VIX is in the red there for me. Got to continue to watch that. But I think Tesla's another big breakdown here if it happens. So let's see what happens. I'm looking for a quick move to 270 here on Tesla. VXX, it might be one of those days where I just try to cover on the VXX. The risk here is just getting a little bit too high for me for no reason. Q's trying to recover there. We'll see what happens. I want to set the risk here for the VIX and then move on to Tesla and go focus on that because that looks good there, but got to understand the max pain here in the VIX. Got to look at the VIX on a different chart there. Tesla's looking good. All right, so 15-minute could touch 40s. Shouldn't break into the 30s. Okay. Might get one more downside approach here. The Qs are still on the weak side of things, so that's why I'm keeping a very close eye on the VIX. I could add to the VIX here, but that's just danger, danger, danger. So I'm trying to keep the risk there controlled, right? Losses could be to 3 to 500 on this account, so still got ways to trade here, guys. Let's see what happens in Tesla now going into the green, trying to see if Tesla starts to break down a little bit further here. Q is starting to break down a little bit more, so Tesla looks good for a potential add here. Tesla coming right back up here. No add just yet here. I'm watching the Qs. The Qs are starting to at least come down here. Let's see if the Qs can break here and then start towards the 497 tenths. Buy, I'll look for a move towards like 581.50s. Back and forth action here, guys. Back and forth action. I'll think a lot on the Qs to see if we're going to make the up move off the VWAP here, or are we going to have the breakdown? So we could have a recovery off of the VWAP here, right back up, right? So that's one move that I would put for the bulls, right? So back through the 498.20s, you keep it going, you can rock and roll, right? And so, of course, when I came in, I was feeling a little bit bullish, trying to buy the dip. So I would have been buying that 945 dip. If I'm looking at it now and I bought that dip, I'm a little bit concerned that we keep failing off the 498, and I'm looking for a 498 recovery. So a lot of times in trading, it's an understanding between the bears and the bulls, right? So We'll see what happened there. Tesla broke a weekly resistance. I wouldn't look for a short there, but best option to look for a long in on the retreat. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, my thing is that it's eventually going to have a nice little pullback day. So I've missed those pullback days on Tesla before, and they've been massive, right? Where small positions would have made me massive gains. So that's what I'm looking to see if what happens today, right? I can keep it small, take a shot, right? Take a shot, right? That's all I'm looking to do. We'll see what happens. Earnings, though, could shake things up, right? And that's the important thing. Earnings tonight will be coming in, shaking things around, moving things around, and you got to be watching out to see what happens, especially before the bell tomorrow, and to see what happens here. Right now, trying to recover the VWAP, trying to recover the 9 EMA and hold it. Below that, we'll look to see if it does do the takedown. But other than that, back through the 498.25s, and you're starting the recovery process to the upside. China stocks doing really well, guys. So that's an area to look for. Look at BABA. Look at PDD. I know it was mentioned in the chat. BABA now towards 171. So those names are going to help the Qs stay stronger. Look at FXI. Push to the upside. So China trade doing great. I'm glad I have it on the swing trade. A little part of me is looking at maybe adding a different China name to see if I can get that, like JD. JD, a nice little pullback there to the 39, starting to recovery. And that held the 38.2% retracement. So a nice little retracement on that one. Now getting a test on Tesla to the upside here. The Qs are going back up. They're trying to make the break to the upside here. This will be my last trade of the day, guys. It's 10:54. We'll see what happens here on the Qs. Does it make a quick downside approach or not? And if it doesn't do that, well, it's going to cost me, right? Back through the VIX, if it does go back through my entry, I will take an ad, and then we'll look to see where that runs to. But that's back through like 5280s. We'll see what happens on that. Definitely struggling here on the VIX, but need the Qs to break down here and the SPY to break down. Tesla in the red there could approach my risk here. We'll see what happens. I think I have a 150 risk there set for Tesla. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Right now, Tesla trying to come back through the 273s. If it does go back through that 273s, it won't be looking as good anymore. So that's the big level to watch there. We'll see if it gets back up through that level. I'm just keeping an eye on it right now. Keeping an eye on the Qs. The Qs testing the 9 EMA again here and starting to pull back there. We'll look to see if it cuts through the 497. That's the killer move there on, of course, the Qs and the VIX. So watching the Qs there to see if it comes into the 497 area, or does it go right back up there to the 498.50s and it's on breakout city? We'll see what happens. I think this looks pretty decent here. You got both sides. So this is what I mean by a fake out fade. 1, 2, 3, 4 times to try to hold that 498. And now we're starting to reject the action off 498s. So the price action tells me back down, but let's see if we actually get that down move, right? It could still recover here and get back up towards that 498. Tesla looking decent now. It's starting to make a down approach here. Tesla coming right back down. It could be a little bit of an add here. I might just add just a little bit here. Back to 272s, it looks like an add. So that's the add if I did want to do a slight add. 267 is still $5. So that's $1,000. So don't gotta add too much if I want to keep going for it, right? So that's the main thing here in Tesla. Don't want to push too much. The number one thing I think that happens to me when I do well in Tesla is I stay smaller. And then whenever I've tried to gone really big on Tesla, and I have, even on this account, 600 shares big, yeah, it's cost me. Why? Because I don't give it the chance to make the bigger move. Right now, the chance to make the bigger move is the downside action pulling back right here. Let's see if it works out. Qs coming down to 497.50s, so a little bit of a pullback in the Qs there. Not a big one, but a little one. Let's see what happens there in the Qs. Does it break the trend line here and start to go toward the 497? You're seeing it get defended right now. I can see it getting defended, and they're trying to hold the 497.50s here. Let's see if they hold it. Tesla, hard move to the downside there. So starter there, really starting to move there in Tesla. We'll see if it really starts to make the move. That's the 272 cut down. Ooh, head and shoulders approach there on Tesla, looking pretty decent there. So Tesla now starting to look like a head and shoulders to me, right? And on the 1 minute, you can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Nice cut down there in Tesla here. So back towards the 272s, I can add here another 50. So I'm going to do 272, add there another 50 or another 100. I can do 100. I'm going to do 50 just to keep it smaller, right? I talked about how I tried to keep it smaller there on Tesla. It's going in the green there for me, and that's what's keeping me in the VIX here as I look for the cues to make a quick move in the VIX to take a quick spike back to the upside here. Qs now down to 495, 497.20s here. SPY starting to make a move to the down. Let's see if it breaks the 497 here. Looking for a quick spike in the VIX here. If I get back to entry, I'm going to cut half size here on the VIX and then look to see if I could ride out that 500 shares for a nice win. But at the same time, don't want to risk too much on this because I've already been in the red here multiple times, and I got to be more management mode here on the VXX. So looking for a quick spike here. And for the Qs to continue down, if the VIX continues down, that's not a good outlook here for me. So Qs right now, watching that 497 approach, we went to it and stopped right on the hammer. So it could come right back up roaring, right? So there's the attempt down below the VWAP and could keep coming down. All right, guys, 10:59. Still seeing the downside action come in here. So looking really good on the Tesla. Tesla. No ad there on Tesla, but Tesla's starting to go now. On the downside she goes. I still have my ad at 272 here, but just probably going to leave that go and let this work here. Tesla coming down fast here. Tesla coming down fast makes me feel like, well, maybe take the shot on the VXX. There's 200 there now in Tesla, so looking really good there. I'm taking off my limit ad as I'm way away from the action now, back towards 271 there in Tesla. There goes the Qs, so the VIX going to start looking a lot better there. So looking pretty good here on Tesla and the VIX. VIX coming right back to my entry here, so the second here, I'm going to be looking to go ahead and take some off here into the green on the VIX. I'm just looking for a quick spike to take some off there and then try to reassess, rethink how I'm going to approach this VIX. So the VIX is starting to spike there. Could go to 53s in a second here. Let's see what happens. All right, it starts to pull back there. I'm watching the cues to see what's going to happen here. Will we break down through the 496.50s? Definitely hard breakdown towards the 497. Looking to see if it rejects the 497 here and just goes lower through the low at the 10 a.m. 496 could be coming back down here, guys. So tough day there out there. I'm definitely seeing that. So just be careful out there, traders. All right, looking for a spike here back towards 53 here, and then looking to take some off here. We'll see what happens on the VXX. Will we get the spike? Will the low come in here? Watching the action here, guys. Taking it off for right now as the Qs go lower here. There's a hard down attempt there. That's going to be a spike here, giving me an opportunity here. The VXX coming right back to me here. All right, guys, just got to be careful here. Got to understand where the risk is if the stock does come back down on me. I'm still not being able to cover green here. So in the point here, I'm going to probably just cover some here just to make sure I keep my risk smaller here. Just looking for the spike above my level here. All right, I'm down about 50 bucks there in the VXX, but the Qs could turn around here. So I'm going to go ahead and cover some right now in just a second here. All right, down 45 here. Will the Qs break towards a new low here? There's an attempt there. Pretty hard action there. Now into the green here. Boom. Just took some off there, guys. So just took some off there. I think it... Oh, I got a 53 order out there. That's why I didn't get hit there. All right, trying to take some off there at my limit there at the 72s. No fill just yet there, guys. So I'm trying to take some off right at break even here. Not getting the fill, and that's a little... Oh, man, that's a tough one there. Come on, man. Get me out some there. Struggling to get me out some right here. All right, take some out at 70, won't you? Man, it does not want to fill me here, guys. Trying to get out some here. No fill on the pullback there. About to just get out on the stop. Not liking this action here, guys. Q's coming back on me here. Man, should have put a stop there, break even there for a second there. That might have helped me there. I tried to put the limit out there and it just didn't fill. So we'll see what happens here, guys. It's 11:04. I got to get the hell out of here, guys. All right, I'm just going to set a stop here. If it hits me on the stop, it is what it is, but I got to get going here. So just be careful out there, traders. It's going to be a wild, wild day. I'm looking to see if it rejects 497. Recovery of 497. It could come right back up here and just chop all day, guys. So be careful out there, traders. I do see it coming back towards that 497 here. So probably going to get hit on the VXX here. But it is what it is. I can't stay in this for too much longer. And the thing that frustrates me here is I should have been break even, guys, when it came back to me. So here it is, testing the red here on the action, right back down. Not what I want to see. And the problem is if I let this stop go right here, I'll probably get hunted and just get taken out here. And I got to get going here. So, hey, is what it is, guys. We'll see what happens there. We're going to continue holding the Tesla. The Tesla looking great there. We'll look to see if Tesla gets a little bit lower. And if the Qs can really break back through that 496.25, I think I'm golden in this. But it's going to take me being able to hold on the pullback. We'll see what happens there. Will the VIX get the breakdown today? Will the Qs break down a little bit there? I think it's just something to watch out for. We'll see what happens there, guys. Setting you up here. I just set a risk there. I'm going to set the risk there for Tesla, and I'm going to get the heck out of here, guys. Tesla was deep green there for a second there, so definitely don't want to risk too much here on the action. It's back there to the 272s, so could add on Tesla there. But I'm going to hold off of this, look to see if it can hold towards an attempt back towards the upside there. We'll see what happens on Tesla. Will it end in the green today? Find out, traders, and come back tomorrow to learn more about the swing trading action. BABA looking great. Daily charts are what it really starts to look at. And that's why you look at the daily chart when you're swing trading, right? So I talked about other ones that looked good for swing trades. Take a look at them, right? Google, interesting on the swing trade action as it pulls back to the 168, right? Big trend line. That's what I'd be approaching here. And I'd be looking at the daily candle. It was big green. It could pull back here and reload and big green, right? So by the end of the day, you can make an approach to see if you think you're going right back towards that 170. We'll see what happens there in Google. That's going to do it for me, guys. Like always, stay safe out there. Smash a like. I stayed a little extra for you guys. Do me the favor. Please take a second. Hit the like button. I'll be back tomorrow and continue battling right here on Trade the Pool.